since it's the time, thank you for coming to my talk. My name is Milan Gabor, and I will be speaking about the human interface device apocalypse, or subtitle, When the Clickers Strike Again. So for those who doesn't know who I am, I'm actually a pen tester, presenter, ethical hacker, trainer. I do a lot of trainings, and one of the B-Sides Ljubljana organizers. So if you're next March, somewhere around Ljubljana, you're more than welcome. And I'm really big Balkan fan. What does this mean? This means that every year I bring more and more Slovenian guys to Novi Sad. So thank you. Okay, so what are we going to be talking about today? So first of all, we're just going to go and try to look what's actually HID device. Then we will go just through history development of different kind of tools. Why, you're going to see and understand a little bit later. Then we're going to see different kind of scenarios. We're going to look just briefly through some of the CVEs, quite hot from this summer. We're going to be talking about Logi something. I also prepared 5 live demos. So it's going to be heavy demos, and yesterday I didn't have time to pray to the demo gods. So I hope, since there is also hardware and stuff included, that the demos will be working. And at the end, you're going to see that with HID devices you can get really strange, crazy ideas how to use that kind of devices. Okay, if we ask Google, so what's actually a HID device, it will get you this kind of answer. So it's kind of human interface device, which is used by humans, take input from humans and give output back to humans. And you're going to see through the presentations that sometimes, you can inject in these, let's say, outputs or inputs. It depends from which side you're looking to. Okay, probably in the room there is no guy that never used one HID device, right? So we all use, who's using the wireless keyboards? Okay, we are the hackers conference, so less people than in normal cloud. Who's using wireless mouses? Not Bluetooth? Okay, majority. Game controllers, any gamers here? Cool. Clickers? So any presenters? Yeah. Boyan there is here, is really already smiling. Any accountants? Because we have also alphanumerical devices, right? So accountants, they use it, with Wi-Fi. We have the medical devices, and actually there is definition that any device that meets USB HID specification, it's allowed to be used. What do you think about this device? Is this also some kind of HID device? Can it be? Yeah, what's normally? How does this behave? As a keyboard, right? So you can get also into this one. Probably this one is not very good. Why? This picture is not appropriate.
It's wired.
Yeah, it's wired. It's wired. Okay, you're still awake. That was a test. Okay, but if we go back to the future, and I mean this, let's say, 3 years back, we see that we have plenty of different kind of devices. Probably you're asking why you're going to show us some old devices. Well, during the different kind of presentation and also the trainings, let's say I discovered that some of the people or some of the attendees or some of the even trainees, they are not kind of aware that we have plenty of devices. Sometimes we really miss some basic tools that can help in this area that we are talking about today. Who does have this kind of device? Rubber ducky. Cool. So it's actually quite old one, right? It's around from 2011. It doesn't have any external communication, so you have to plug it. Well, it does have it does have the SD card, so you can use different kind of payloads. But normally it's used like auto launch. So you just throw them away or try to, I don't know, persuade someone that puts this USB stick into his computer, and the exfiltration is done through the payload. So you have to do something, and you might get caught doing this. And of course, there's also a price tag. So it's about $49, $50. And at the moment, if you try to buy it, it's sold out. So you cannot get it at this moment. So you have to wait until the Hack 5 creates a new batch of the rubber duckies. Okay, anybody owning a USB Ninja? One, okay. Actually, its interface, does it have its USB and Bluetooth low energy? So payload can be used as Arduino. So you have to know a little bit Arduino, or you can just Google and get some kind of payloads that are Arduino compatible. It can be used as an auto, so you just plug it in and it triggers, or you can trigger it over the Bluetooth. The only reason is that's about $180 for a complete kit. Have you used it over some kind of engagement or just for fun? Just for fun? Okay. The next one that we have, it's alternative to rubber ducky. It's really cheap alternative. Why? Because it only costs like $3. So it's kind of similar functionality. There's no SD card. So if you want to have different payloads for Unix, for Linux, or for Mac, or for Windows, you have to have different kind of devices. And also you need to know a little bit about Arduino programming. And if you take a look at this device, there is also a design factor because they're quite narrow. So if you try to put this DigiSpark into the box like this, so the normal USB key, you would have a little bit problem. But it's really nice and cheap alternative. And it's really easy to programming. So who's doing the Arduino programming? Okay, cool. So probably this is not a problem to write, let's say, 15 lines of code. See that PowerShell is still quite used in this kind of area. And you have really nice device that can, I don't know, steal the data, exfiltrate it, or something else. Okay. Let's get to another very interesting device. This was presented by Luca Bongiorni in 2018, so last year. So, and if you want to see, this is kind of one device. Why is this really good one? Because it's combined. So you have the USB and you have the Wi-Fi. So it's kind of, he married the Arduino platform with the ESP8266 chip, which provides the Wi-Fi connectivity. Why is this so important? Well, because I can plug the USB stick in somebody's computer and I can control it over the Wi-Fi. So I can send the keystrokes, I can send the commands, and you can exfiltrate this data over the Wi-Fi or even over the serial port, which is really nice. So what you have to do, you just plug it in, wait a couple of seconds, plug it out, and all the data that you want to steal are already on this USB device. It's really nice build form, so it fits, in this nice Chinese plastic case. So it looks like really good USB stick. It even has a light, so you know when it was successful or if it wasn't successful. So Luca, as you're going to see in a future slides, he also building the next generation. At the moment, there is a kind of beta phase, which is going to be called VHID Elite version. So he was doing a little bit about evolution, and think about it, since we have the firewalls next generation, think about this as a VHID next generation. So it's really close to release, but it's a little bit larger in size. So you see this box is quite big. You know, if you come to some potential target and you plug it in, then you would probably have a problem now because it's quite wide. Why is this? Because it does have the GSM modem on it. So you can control it over the cellular network. So you don't have to, with this, you don't have to be so close, because with this you have to be in range of the Wi-Fi network coverage. And we all know that these small chips, they have not very long range. But with this, you just plug it in, the device calls back over the 3G, and you have actually covered channel how to, let's say, attack or steal the data. So he has been running kind of one game. So if you sometimes, you know, he gets really active on Twitter, and if you answer some of his questions right, you might get one of the pre-production devices. So with all these devices that we are using at the moment, you know, there are different kind of attack scenarios, but mainly they're quite same. So USB sticks dropping, you know, in front of the customers, in front of the companies, and normally still there is a classical payload with PowerShell one-liner or something else. Or you can also use the scripts to download and execute malicious files using the certitl or bitsadmin or something else. So this is one of the scenarios. I already mentioned the other one. So the WHID can also use the serial port. So he can also exfiltrate the data. So simple, really simple PowerShell scripts can read all kind of files. So if you know that on target's computer there is one file at that path, you can actually read it. You can list all COM ports. Most important thing, what do you think? If you manage to grab with this USB stick somebody Wi-Fi passwords from his notebook, do you think this is quite good opportunity? Is this kind of good scenario? What do you think? Yes or no? So if you plug in this stick into somebody's notebook and get away with his Wi-Fi passwords, what do you think, Bojan? Is this kind of... It's okay. Probably if I try to put it in your computer, I probably get away with some interesting Wi-Fi passwords, right? Yep. The only drawback with this one, it's you need to be close. So if I stick this into his computer, I need to be close so I can connect over the Wi-Fi limit, and this, the WHID Elite, is going to be fixing that, let's say, drawback from this one. But then again, if we try to look HID devices, there has been 3 years ago, there has been one story, you know, new kid in town was, and as all, let's say, big failures, they get different kind of names. So who knows what mousejack is? Never heard of mousejack? Bojan? No? It's, it's actually quite old one, you know. It's dated to 2016 from Bastille Research. And the problem was that these all devices that we are using, for example, also Logitech, Lenovo, Microsoft mouses, they didn't use any kind of encryption. So the channel 2.4 gigahertz, so the normal Wi-Fi, it wasn't encrypted at all. So when you paired your Wi-Fi keyboard or mouse, the communication between the dongle and the keyboard or the mouse was not encrypted. So you can eavesdrop on it, and you can sniff it or even inject yourself into that channel that was going on. It's really funny story. When I showed this in, let's say, very interesting Slovenian government office, You know what was the reaction when I showed them demo? They removed all Wi-Fi mouses and keyboards from different ministries. Why? Because you could inject yourself in. We will be showing how your mouse can how your mouse even can type. The only drawback at that time was that only one device was supported. That was Crazy Radio, and you have to patch it with some custom firmware from Bastille Research. There was also one tool, it's a mouse jacket that actually could go, and it was used by different kind of people where they develop it, probably because, you know, Sammy Kanker or Travis Goodspeed. And still, plenty of devices are still vulnerable to this issue. Why this was a problem? Because you have to update each and every dongle of the unifying device from Logitech or from Microsoft or some other vendors that have been using it. So who did updated his unified dongle lately? Okay, 3. But you're going to see that with latest research from one guy that was actually, let's say, responsible, that also I'm giving this talk here. Majority of the people, they're not updating it. From this research from 2016, we see that Microsoft, you know, sexy red mouses, you know, this is still vulnerable. Why I haven't patched it? Because I'm using it to demo it, because some of the people, they don't believe that you can actually inject yourself into the mouse communication and send the keystrokes. Because they think, you know, this cannot type. That's, you know, that's normal. Well, the mouse, you don't have you don't have keys. You know, you don't have A, but still they can send, because it's kind of HID device, and you can send the keystrokes to there. Okay, that was in 2016. So we still have a lot of vulnerable devices. But how is this related to the current time? Well, I don't know, but how was the weather here in Novi Sad? It was hot? No. Yeah, so it was also hot summer, really, regarding the HID devices. Why? Does somebody, without Googling, so without using the Google, tell me what are these CVEs? Probably not. But these were actually quite hot this summer. But let me ask differently. Who's using Logitech products? Who's not using Logitech products? Any good reason?
Corporate policy.
Corporate policy. Okay, good reason. Huh. I won't ask you where you're working, because, you know, only a couple of companies have different, let's say, policies, don't use Logitech. But the biggest problem is kind of these ones. Probably you have seen it everywhere, in notebooks, you know, even on computers. So the problem is that, and the communication and the vulnerabilities that have been found during the research from one guy that we're going to meet a little bit later. So if we put what actually these CVEs means, any crypto guys in the audience? Okay, crypto guys. What does this mean if you sniff AES key when you do the pairing? So when this mouse is pairing with the dongle, if you sniff the AES keys that are used for encrypting the communication, does
Pairing is actually, they are doing on the wrong way. Pairing.
They're doing it on the wrong way?
Yeah. So actually, the AES key is transferred in an insecure way.
Okay. Yes. Yes. That is one of it. Sorry? He said that the AES keys are, let's say, transferred or exchanged in some insecure way so you can get it. So that was it. That was his comment, which is quite right. So the next CVE was you can actually injection with key dumped from the USB from presentation clickers. I was really happy to see yesterday when Chris was doing her presentation, he didn't use clicker. I guess she said she had really good reason to do that, or she didn't have it with her. So, but yes, you can actually use this kind of clickers. You know, so can this type? Yes or no?
Like this.
Well, if you're seeing, there are only 4 buttons here. Normal clicker, or some of the clickers, they only have 2, forward and backwards. But here, they're sending some kind of keystrokes, but they're limited. You know, they're limited. They cannot say send ASCII 65, say, I think still. They cannot send it because they have kind of, they are blocking. But we're going to see that there's kind of trick. But most of you forgot it already. We have been using a lot, let's say 10 years ago, but now, you know, we don't use it anymore. Okay, we can also dump the keys. So if somebody gets to the unifying dongle, so if your keyboard is connected to the unifying dongle, do you have 100% time? So you're looking at it 100% time, so nobody gets physical access to this dongle. Or you don't care because it's put somewhere in behind or in your laptop. So who is taking care for these dongles? 1, 2. Why? Because if you manage to get the access to this dongle, one tool we're going to demonstrate, you can see that you can dump the keys. So you can sniff the keys, you can dump the keys. And when you have it, you can actually inject yourself or you can listen. So you can eavesdrop on the communication who is doing something. There's another CVE, which is actually injection without key knowledge for receivers patched. So receivers which were already patched against the key jacking. So it's not possible to do the key jacking, but still you can do injection. Okay, this, what I'm going to be presenting, it's not our work. You know, we are really standing on the shoulders of great guys, on the giants. And you're going to see, you know, that, but anyway, we did a little bit piece. So we actually contributed a little bit piece, and you can see that in some cases it might be very interesting. The another thing, so if you miss it, there is on the internet really good presentation from Confidence, New Tales of Wireless Input Devices, which was done on June 4th, so this year, so just before the really hot summer. And these two guys, they were doing separately to discover that Markus Mengs was doing it. And why is this interesting? Because anyone from Austria, you know, a lot of Austrian guys are running here, you know, and if you did miss it, they're going to be speaking at the DeepSec conference in Vienna this autumn, and this is the announcement was done yesterday. So they're going to be talking about also the vulnerabilities that they discovered through hacking the HID devices. But we won't be talking about these guys. We will be actually talking about the tool that wrote Markus Mengs, who is actually author of Logitecher, how he called this kind of tools. So you can find it under handle of Mame82. And he's actually author of the PoundPy. Anybody using PoundPy? Because it can also you're trying to build it. Well, if you're trying to build it, you have it as a Kali distribution, so you just unzip it and you have everything running. So you don't have to build it, you just have to customize it. But definitely, he's been using a lot. So he also, in his PoundPy, you can use it as a HID device. So it has multiple personalities. He's a really great researcher. We have been working with him for this summer, and great person with really crazy ideas. His research, he actually applied also for the Black Hat, but he was rejected this year. But I bet it would be awesome if he would manage to get there. Why we also send this, let's say, proposal to the Balkan? Because it was really interesting what he tries to achieve, to get the broad attention in security community and make customers aware about these issues. Because a lot of, when we are talking about the mouses and Logitech keyboards, we are talking about the huge potential attack surface. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the Logitech hacker. With MouseJack, we had a problem. Why? Because we had a dongle. So this is the crazy radio hardware that can actually inject into if you're using the jacket. But the problem was this was only the hardware. You need to have software. So his idea was, can we leverage or can we use some kind of hardware which does have system on chip, so we don't have to have software separately somewhere. So he managed to find the hardware, and this tool that's actually kind of here, or here, so this is the Nordic, he managed to put the software and the hardware on the same board. So you don't have to run it anything on your computer, so you just plug it in. So it only needs the USB plug, nothing else. So it's running on dedicated hardware, but we see that not only one company makes it, but we see that we also have alternatives to that. So if you go through his GitHub, there is a lot of features that these devices can do, and it's really under heavy development. So almost every week or 10 days, there's a new version of it. So you just flash the device, and you get the new version. At the moment, there are different kind of boards supported. This one is Nordic NRF 52840 dongle, which costs around $30. So it's still cheaper than rubber ducky, and you can do the same thing as a rubber ducky. So there are also Maker Diary, 2 different dongles, and one is a little bit bigger because it has a possibility to use it with external antenna. And the cheapest one, I have it here, it's April dongle, which has antenna, because this one doesn't have antenna. And antenna means that you can be far, far, far away with antenna. So these are the dongles, so you can use. I will be playing with this one. So this is the cheapest one. This one is, let's say, most stable one, because probably they did, somebody from China did some very good copying the device and all the features. And these are the Maker Diary dongles. Okay. When you plug in this device, it actually has 4 kind of personalities. So it can behave like serial port. So you have just connected with your console or your putty or something else, or even with the screen. It can behave like a mouse. It can behave like a keyboard. And there is also one possibility. There is a kind of role. So everything that's getting, you can filter, or you can react, or you can do your own processing in this device. So Logitech hacker, these devices or this firmware that you actually install it on or flash it on a device, it covers these Logitech vulnerabilities. So different kind of, and we're gonna see some of them. Try to go through. If the demo gods will be, let's say good to us. I also mentioned that this one, let's say this one, why is this one the best one, so I won't forget, because it fits also to the same casing as the rubber ducky. As you see, at one conference in Slovenia, I got this really nice USB key. with little hardware modification, one of our guys managed to stick it here. So it's already branded, you know, so some guys would think it, okay, it's really nice USB branded key, so I can stick it in and bang, all my secrets are gone. Okay, so what are we gonna do now? Probably we will run into some kind of little bit problems. Why? Because the cameraman is also using the Logitech Wi-Fi keyboards. So what can happen? We might inject the wrong unifying receiver. So we might own him, not my computer, not my simulation, but we try to avoid this. In first demo, you're gonna see how you can discover all devices. You can actually also store devices, and you can do the passive enumeration based on different kind of the different kind of frames. And let's see if this is gonna be working. Okay, here it's hard to see, but I have one unified dongle connected to my virtual machine. So my virtual machine is going to be, I'm going to be simulating the, let's say, target. So the target I will be attacking. As you can see, here we have this unifying software, which is kind of old. It's dated from 2014. So Logitech is really updating their software. It's the latest one. I downloaded it yesterday from their website. It said, well, that's the latest and greatest, use it. And first we're gonna try to pair it with this mouse. So dongle is imported through the virtual USB interface, and we will try to pair it. But before, we're gonna see that so we're gonna see that this is the interface to that Logitech. So this is actually running on this device. So kind of. As you see, I still haven't plugged in my mouse, but let me see. Can you move a little bit, mouse? And you see, he's moving the mouse. I'm getting the already events from his mouse. Okay. I will try to pair my device. This is normally done, you know, just plug it in, turn it off, turn it on, and you should have paired mouse. Let's see if this is working. Okay, so I have my mouse, which is connected to virtual machine, and I can move it only in virtual machine. Why? Because my dongle is inserted into virtual machine. Outside, I have my touchpad. What we see here with Logitech, so we can see that we have plenty of devices. You see? So plenty of devices, and if I move my mouse now, you'll see that my mouse is also moving. So here. Why is this important? Because, you know, if you're a very large Wi-Fi HID devices environment, you might get several devices on it. Now we see device, but we can still not do anything. Let's try to see if we can inject it in some kind of plain communication. Why in plain communication? Because this device and the dongle hasn't been updated. So it doesn't have any kind of, let's say, encryption when I'm using my mouse. Let me see. So if I try to see my mouse, but probably I will have a, which one is mine? Keyboard, no. Lock, disable devices. And the possibility is also that you can store all devices, especially when this is going to be a little bit interesting afterwards, because it can store also the keys that going to be used during the encryption. Okay, so if we see now here, Free gas. Let's see if we try to one device. Let's see. Oops. We had several devices. Now it's going to be a little problem. When I was doing there, I only had one device, and now it's going to be really, really, really fun. Let's say load, and there's also possibility that you can load scripts. Script load Balcon. And this scripting, it's really interesting because it's saved on the flash. And with this, you can do the typing. So as you see here, I delayed it for 4,000 milliseconds, and then there's kind of alternative string which it's saying hello from Balcon 2019. So this script is going to be injected into the channel that we are using. Maybe you're asking, why is this alternative string? Who's still using the numerical keyboard? What if you turn on the numerical keyboard and you type 065? What you get on the screen? If you type the ASCII codes on the numerical, you will get the same behavior as you would type A on the keyboard. So in this one, it's actually using the same procedure. So it's using kind of turn on numerical and type on numerical 065, and that's why, because the mouse and the clickers, they cannot send characters, so like A or B or C or something else. So using the Logitech is using kind of, let's say, trick. So if we're going to see a little bit, it's kind of Alt, Alt something, the menu is going to be, they're going to be a little bit playing around. So if we try to see if I manage to find the right target, let's see, log, enable, and try to move, go, try to move my mouse. Well, this is the curse of the live demos. Let's go run, you see. No? It looks like my Logitech device died. Let me just do again this and see if this one is gonna go. Run, start session. Okay. Discover run and see if my mouse it's, yes, so it's 1C something. So load script, load Balcon, load script succeeded, so we have the scripts, show script, show. And now we're going to try to inject, in this virtual machine that somebody else is using it. So we will try to inject here. So inject in target, so we have the target 1C16, guess this one. Okay, inject execute, and let's see if this one will, if something will be going on. So as you've seen, but if you have been paying attention, that you would see that if here there was, something like on, it was going on like here, because it was typing Alt and the numerical keys. Now try the different one. Try to inject into this one. Do you need to show it, or you trust me that it's going to be the same? Because the clickers are doing the same thing. So, but we can save it later. Don't trust anybody. I know that guy, He's from the crypto community, You shouldn't trust crypto. Yeah, well, you're wearing the T-shirt, so it's weird. Okay, it's the same, since probably we will run out of time otherwise. It's the same with clickers. That's why I said, the clickers are really problematic. And clickers, what do you think? Would be interesting to inject yourself in clickers during security conferences? Yes. Why? You know, because all presenters normally, I'm doing the same thing. You know, I present with my clicker and with my computer. So if you manage to inject yourself between my clicker and my computer, you own me. Really fast. But now let's move to another way. Let's try to steal the key, the EAS key. And we're gonna try this with pairing attack. So we're gonna be, let's say, there's one kind of special condition. You have to be close when the devices are paired. Otherwise, you know, there is no leakage of the key. Yes. But let's try to see if this one is going to be working. Okay. We don't have any device connected to our virtual machine. So you see, there is no devices. And now, you know, I brought this all the way from Slovenia, so I kind of I didn't declare it, you know. So hopefully I will get it back. Why is this interesting? Well, it's kind of widely used, and this time I also have this kind of keyboard with a cable at home. But now you cannot buy it anymore with USB cables, just wireless keyboards. Okay, try now to catch the key between the pairing. Okay, let's clear all devices, remove all. So we don't have any devices left. Okay, let's do the pairing as normally we do it. So pair a new device. What does this mean? Okay, turning on, turning off. You see, turn on, turn off. Okay, see the key 350. My device is paired. Oh, and I should do something. I didn't start sniffing the pairing process, so I have to do it again. It will take just a second. Okay, the keyboard, unpair, pair new device. Okay, switch off, switch on. Again, okay, you see? And see, in the keyboard, now we managed to catch. We manage, where my key? We manage the link key. So this is actually the AAS key which is responsible for securing the communication between my keyboard and the dongle. How do we know that my keyboard is working? So if I try to write something, you see, I'm getting the output. So you see, when I'm writing something, I'm getting the events also there. And fun part is that you can also do option, passive enumeration, pass-through keyboard on. And whatever I'm typing, since I have a key which is responsible for encrypting the communication, I can also intercept all the keystrokes. So if I manage to get the key, and the user it's doing this. No, probably you're all doing this, right? Every day, at least a couple of times. No? And let's just delete here this. Why? So my keyboard is paired to here, to this virtual machine, and yeah, I know what's the problem. You're sniffing the Wi-Fi traffic, and the problem is because I'm getting the two inputs, not only one. Let me see again. Yes, here. Okay, I mistyped it, so. Okay, so I got the. I should get the passwords here. So because I'm sniffing, so we can be. So we are actually man in the middle through keyboard and through the dongle that has been using it. Okay, what's the next demo so we can have it? We have seen it here that we managed to get, so that we only have 10 minutes left. Okay, we did the per key sniffing. Additional thing that's actually can be possible, it's kind of using the tool which is called munifying. It's developed in Golang, so you can compile it on Linux without any problems, and it actually dumps all the keys from the dongle. You can then use these keys and intercept the communication. How is this done? Let's see. Now I have to remove this dongle. That's, what does it take to remove the dongle? In virtual space, just connect it to the other one. But what does this mean in the real world? What do you think? Somebody needs to have access to the dongle. Right? So the cleaning lady can copy your dongle? Yes. So if you're using the unifying dongle in your hotel room, and if you leave your computer there with the dongle, to dump the keys, it takes like 5 seconds. You can automate it. You can automate it with some Raspberry Pi or something else. Just plug it in until as soon as the USB device is plugged in, run the command, and you get the key from the dongle. So you see here, let me see a little bit bigger. So you see, this is the AES key that was used for the communication between the keyboard and my dongle. Put it back. Would somebody notice it? Probably not. And the cleaning lady goes out with all your keys for all your devices. So if you're using unified dongle, you can have up to 6 devices on the same dongle. So they have all the keys in it. Okay, we dump the keys. You can use them later. What is our contribution? We have been playing with Marcus Meng's creations just before the summer. We have been really honored to be the part of private repos just before everything went public. I'm really grateful to him to giving us this opportunity. And when we have been playing, we actually it was the project of one of my summer school students during this summer, and he actually managed to develop some really small Windows tool, which can do pretty same as the Logitech does. But Logitech doesn't save all the keystrokes. So does it have it only in memory? So you cannot save it in a flash. Why? Because there's a limitation with the flash and other issues. But we can, save. We can save this. We can save all these key locks. And even if we don't have the key, we can save it for later time. So what does this mean? If we are agents, we can sniff all traffic for several months. We don't have to have the key today, but we can get it in next month. So if we have, and this is the really nice and effective tool that one of our students, which goes under null byte 0 handle, it said that we can save something, and we save something, the keystrokes, for later usage. We get this key that we somehow, or the evil maid, if the evil maid got this key for us, so this key, and we have this keystrokes, and we got the key today, so we can just use it, and we can also use the decrypt history. And we can decrypt everything that we saved several months ago. So if somebody was logging on, if somebody was writing love letters, if somebody is doing some secret messaging to somewhere, we can decrypt it later. Under one condition, so he doesn't pair it again, because then the key keys between the devices are changing. So this one, it's really available on the GitHub. So if everybody wants to use it, it's free to use. It only runs on Windows at this moment. So because everything else, it's running on Linux. So this is the really nice GUI that we made it. Okay, there's only one thing, who is developer here? Okay, who really likes to do quick fixes? Quick fixes? Wrong way. Don't do it. Why? I always tell the customers, if we find a bug, sleep over. Don't fix it immediately. Why? Because if you fix one bug really quickly, normally you're going to introduce 2 more, 2, 3, 4, even 5 more. What did Logitech did? They got this notification. They fix it, but they fix it in a wrong way. So what was bypass of recent Logitech patch? You can, with these dongles, you can downgrade them. So you can put them into not the latest version, but one version before. Dump the keys, upgrade it again, and you have the keys. So sometimes even fixes goes wrong. I already mentioned that. So this is from Logitech Unifying Software for 2014. And at the end, just for the really close my talk, there are really crazy ideas how to use it. This is from Luca Bongiorni, how to use the crazy plasma ball, as a heat injector. You can buy plasma ball for like $10. For $13, you can get the heat, put it in, and if somebody plugs it in, these devices can type. They also try to put it in mouse, so don't accept gifts. Don't accept gifts from other people, because you never know. Maybe it's a mouse, maybe it's some kind of hit device that's playing some other crazy stuff. Luca Bongiorni also created, when he was playing with Logitecher, and he was a little bit throwing, let's say, comments, and maybe he wanted to start a holy war against the Mitnick and Vincent, who were selling the Ninja cables for $180. He said, well, I can do it for $10. And what is he doing? He's actually injecting into the cables the Logitech dongles. Why? Because he can control it with Logitecher. So, well, will you use my cable? Well, for charging your device, here it is. And as soon as you plug it in, I control your USB cable. So this one is really interesting. There is one interesting question was when we were discussing on a Twitter from my friend. He said, well, in Slovenian language, I translate, what are we going to do about Logitech products? Should we throw them in trash? Because they're not safe as they should be. There's some crazy ideas also with the heat injector with USB, and they claiming that you can actually bypass air-gapped environments with this. So nuclear plants, power plant grids, oil and gas plants, and everything that's connected to it. There is also a reason why I was asking you if there are some gamers. This is the official Logitech Twitter, and they showed a demo of the really young guys actually cutting the USB cables of their mouse, mouses. And they said we want to switch to wireless mouses. The G series from Logitech, it can really handle really good. It's really good for the gamers. Can you get some idea what crazy things can go wrong? I have an error. LAN party pawnage. Have you ever been to LAN party? LAN party? You have 300 guys, and 300 wireless mice, which are never updated, probably, and you can inject into their computers, and gaming computers are really good for mining. So, because they have really good, Nice. Okay, and some other stuff. Yesterday we heard the presentation about the Saudi Aramco and how it was done. And this was from news from today. Claimed drone attacks on Saudi Aramco. So there have been from yesterday's speech 2 drone attacks, which will make quite big damage. But why is this interesting? Because Luca Bongiorni is playing also with his drone to scan and inject into everything that drone finds. So he can send it several kilometers away, inject themselves into the Logitech insecure communication on the world. So you see, there are really, really great and crazy ideas. Okay, just for the really end, what should we do? Does anybody vote we should disable all USBs? Is this possible? Probably not, because even if you disable it on your notebook, if you're using the docking station, probably you don't disable it there. What about never use any USB device again? Probably also not. Well, what we can do is definitely endpoint USB device management application and system to monitor what kind of each devices are connecting. Hits event sent to SIM. So if you have it, send to there. And of course, there's also another, any digital forensics here, guys? Okay. Is your digital forensic and incident response team ready for hit devices? So do you know what everything has been plugged in? What everything was, let's say, run on a computer? What kind of devices? So there are a lot of questions, and I will end with this. So, and it looks like, the hit devices, that started in 2016, they're coming back again, so we should make that hit devices apocalypse great again. So thank you very much. And since I said it wasn't my research, so if you plan to play with it, Marcos is a really nice guy. He responds really fast. These are the references that I try to put together where all the presentation and everything is. It's really good start to do it, and thank you very much again. Any questions just before, because I'm late. One question, yeah.
We only have time for one.
It's actually correction partly. Mouse jack also works on unified dongles itself.
Yes.
And since you by now know that unified dongles are shit, you can just reflash it with mouse jack. That's one. And the other is that your trick for generating ASCII characters actually works only on Windows.
Yes. Definitely. Since mine was cool. So the additional suggestion is here, use Linux. Okay, thank you very much.